Welcome everyone to the Square Circle podcast. I am your host Marie Shadows, and I am joined today by Gio. Epic should be joining us later. Um, he's currently playing some Dead by Daylight. So this is episode 8. I have decided to call it Thanksgiving. I was going to probably call it originally Fake Fans, only because one of my favorite uh rappers, Tom McDonald, put out a song called Fake Fans, and it spoke tremendous volumes, and it is completely correct in everything that he was saying in that song. And that kind of pertains to wrestling Twitter, because all wrestling Twitter does is negative, 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 and there's, no one could be wrong. Well, in their eyes, they think that everybody is wrong. Um, and they're the only right ones, the that no one could tell them different, and no one could try to teach them that maybe you should think of it in this perspective rather than in your perspective. But we'll get to uh negative wrestling Twitter a little bit later on, as we go through our main topics. It might be controversial, I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. And all we need is feedback from people, and that's all. So we're gonna begin talking about NXT War Games. Were you able to watch NXT War Games?
Yes, I was able to watch NXT War Games.
I thoroughly enjoyed NXT War Games. NXT in itself never fails to deliver. NXT always delivers, and stuff like that. So I'm happy that this pay-per-view had to happen. So let's just go right through the matches and stuff like that. We did not give our wrestling predictions for the NXT War Games, or did we?
No, we
No.
no, we never about it.
Yeah.
We just get the viruses.
Yeah. And just so you know, you're breaking up. You might have to start moving around the room, probably. All right. So the first opening contest of the NXT War Games was the Women's War Games, which is a first time ever in the history of WWE, in the history of NXT, and probably in the history of women's professional wrestling. Just in the amount of how hardcore and intense it is. Excuse me. So the first team, we have Rhea Ripley, who is the team captain. You have Dakota Kai joining her. You have Candice LeRae joining her, and then Tegan Knox joining her. Tegan Knox is finally back after so long of nursing a knee injury. I do not know if it was a double knee injury, but I know it was a knee injury. Um, Versus Shayna's team, who is the NXT Women's Champion. Shayna is joined by Bianca Belair, Kaylee Ray, who is the UK champion, and also Io Shirai. Um, from start to finish, the women were badass. They took a lot of bumps that you would normally see the men taking, which is totally cool. There was a lot of physicality. There was a lot of throwing people into the cage and using the weapons and trying to fight for dominance. And then we have the huge heel turn that no one was expecting. I mean, I wasn't expecting Dakota Kai to become heel, but at the same time, it was kind of, you kind of wanted it because you kind of knew what happened to her in NXT with, like, all the bullying and Shayna telling her that she's not that good and stuff like that, and just putting her down constantly, 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 and then her losing. So after a while, it would become a deal breaker where she turns heel. But I don't know why she attacked Tegan Knox after Tegan Knox comes back from nursing her knee injury. And I hate storylines that are like, oh my God, you came back from knee injury? That's great. Let's re-aggravate that knee injury for you to stay out of wrestling. Um, so yeah, Gio, do you have any knowledge as to why Dakota Kai would attack Tegan Knox?
Uh, to the best of my knowledge, no. But it probably could be maybe when Rhea Ripley chose Mia Yim over her, and everybody was kind of.
Give me 1
Am I
second.
breaking up?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
It's just Ravage Lance is saying that all he hears is me, which is kind of weird. I heard you fine when I had it on my phone. I guess go ahead. It'll be fine. Oh, I hear you. No, you're fine. Go.
Okay, so maybe the reason why she attacked her former best friend is because Ripley chose Mia Yim over Dakota Kai, and everybody was like, sorry, Nox didn't really go to bat for her. She just put on a sad face, so maybe she felt like, you're supposed to be my best friend and stick up for me and stuff. And she wanted to like prove herself. And she said like to Mia Yim, like, I'm here to make sure that, things are fair. So it was kind of maybe alluded to, but you never saw it coming. I feel like now every time when a female wrestler in WWE turns heel, the fans cheer. It's really necessary.
We're gonna have to walk
But
around.
It was like a surprise.
Yeah.
The only question.
I didn't hear the question.
Does that process to take that spot? I don't know. Maybe we'll have.
Whoa, you completely cut off. You completely cut off.
No, I can't. Just very low.
Okay.
Can't really move.
All right. That question that you asked, I didn't hear it.
Oh. The question, did the attack Mia Yim so she can take the spot just so she could turn her best? Because we still don't know.
Yeah, we don't. Tonight is NXT, so hopefully Dakota Kai will answer the fans into why she decided to attack Tegan Nox and stuff like that. I thought it was very good, and then it felt like it really felt like NXT has all these children, and the moment that you like act up and become angry, you push your father per se, meaning William Regal. Everyone felt that. Everyone felt like, oh my gosh, she's gonna get it now, type of thing. And that's what I enjoy about NXT, especially from the beginning. It all felt like a family, and it all felt very good, and stuff like that. So yeah, when she shoved William Regal, I was just like, oh crap, she's gonna get the shit beaten out of her and whatnot. Because you don't really do that to Regal. You don't push him like that.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
Touch Regal, but she did.
She did. Luckily, there wasn't a report that says that Triple H was gonna fine her for pushing an official, or in this case, pushing her general manager and whatnot. How did you feel about the women's War Games match? I do know that we don't have anything in reference to like compare it to, but how did you feel about it?
I was all for it. It's the first time probably in the history of wrestling, I should say, that women get to structure and deadly games such as. I was excited to have the opportunity to do what the men do. NXT is the pay-per-view, I should say, to showcase that.
So
do well. Yes.
I decided, right, because after watching NXT War Games, I'm just gonna say it now from like start to finish. Every match was like 5 mic drops for us because this is Square Circle Podcast, so we initially do mic drops. And I created this picture for everyone to see. And for those that are going to be listening to me on the podcast on Anchor, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, if you guys remember that salt guy, the throwing salt guy meme,
That dude.
yeah, that dude, the one that just gracefully salts all his meat. So I decided to take our logo, the Square Circle Podcast, that you could definitely see on this live stream. And I just threw on mics there because I decided to give the Women's War Games match a 5-star mic drop, which is very awesome. And I'm gonna put him right here and then just size him down, and then you guys should be able to see it on the you guys will be able to see it soon. So yeah, we don't normally give star ratings or mic drop ratings for any of matches that we've ever seen. I never really did. I never really said, "Oh, this match is 5 stars." Until I saw War Games and I was like, "What is happening here?" It was one of those. So that's our picture of the 5 mic drop guy. I still gotta come up with a name with it, but that's the idea. I gave this one 5 mic drops. On a scale of 1 to 5, Gio, what do you give it? Gio?
Oh, 5.
Okay. Let's move on to the second match of the night for the NXT War Games, which was Damian Priest, who was known as Punishment Martinez on the Indies and also in Ring of Honor, versus Killian Dane and Pete Dunne. So I had originally watched Survivor Series first on Sunday and then was able to catch up on War Games after. So now I understand, the outcome of this match. But oh my God, all 3 of these guys, they're all different in like weight classes, in their athletic ability, their arsenal and stuff like that. You have Damian Priest, who looks like a very, very young Undertaker when he first started in the business. And then you have Killian Dane. We all know how athletic he is for being a big guy. And then you have Pete Dunne, the bruiserweight, who goes around breaking people's fingers. And I never want that. What happened?
He likes to break fingers.
He does. And I never want my fingers to be broken. Never. That's why I will always give him a fist bump. He can't go at my hands. I fist bump all it is. From start to finish. What happened?
You're afraid he's gonna break it? You shake it?
Yeah, dude. Like he's gonna grab it and freaking break my fingers. Like that traumatizes me when I see it on television. It's just like, no, I don't want to shake your hand. I just want to give you a fist bump. That's all I want to do. So, what was I going to say? That from start to finish, it was a roller coaster of emotions, a roller coaster of spots, a roller coaster of just pure, genuine fighting for the number 1 contender spot to face Adam Cole for his NXT championship. Again, I am going to leave my 5 mics guy there because this was a 5-star match. It had everything. Sometimes I just think that there was some spacing issues because Killian Dane kept dropping either his body weight and or Pete Dunne's, and then both of their body weights on top of Damian Priest on like his head. So Damian Priest his head kept getting hurt. But either way, I gave it 5 mics. And then our winner for this match happens to be Pete Dunne. That is why Survivor Series he fought Adam Cole, and we're gonna get there. No spoilers for that. What do you think about this match overall, Gio?
Oh man, 3 guys fighting contender for NXT Championship at Survivor Series. First time ever the NXT Championship being. So I like it. I wasn't sure who might win. I thought it Killian Dane, since he returned to NXT, he's destructive path. I thought it could Priest. And then Dunn probably was obvious choice.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think of it that way. I went into this match with no expectations, because once again, I have not been following WWE like that, but I did not think of it that way where it was like Pete Dunne could have been the obvious choice. And I think you mentioned something that caught my interest, which I didn't hear you fully. Did you just say that since Killian Dane is back, does that mean that Sanity is back?
No, Sanity, unfortunately, I was saying I thought
Oh,
Killian probably might have had since
I got it.
return. He's been on war.
Yeah, which is
Unfortunately,
that's
Sanity was
unfortunate.
short-lived.
Yeah.
Sad as
All right.
so
So
much.
I was gonna be happy that they came back, but yeah, it was unfortunate that they couldn't come back. Um, I don't know why. Uh I have no like knowledge as to why they broke up in the first place. I don't know where Eric Young is at, and I don't know where uh the other guy is at, the Wolf guy.
Oh, other guy, he's in UK.
Oh,
Walter,
oh wait, what?
what's his name?
The one that was with Sanity, the one that like we all call him like Wolf or whatever it is.
Yes, I think he is UK on Walter Stable.
Oh,
Eric Young, I believe he got drafted. I don't see.
oh,
Fortunate, and it's the guys.
you might have to walk around a bit. You're breaking up.
Eric Young, I believe, is on Raw.
Oh, okay. As you guys know, like I said, I'm leaving up the 5 mics guy. Gio, on a scale of 1 to 5, what do you rate this match?
I'm gonna give it 4.
A 4? Okay. I do have a picture for 4 mics as well. But
Beautiful.
what happened?
I said beautiful.
Yeah, I have it for 1 to 5, so eventually we'll use it in our programming. Just for now, we're gonna leave up 5. I'll try to figure out a way to do this. The next match is Finn Balor, or Prince Balor, as he would like to be
There we go.
called, versus Matt Riddle. Oh my God, this star. Well, see this star. This match
It's
wasn't.
Mike.
Yeah, this match was definitely a instant 5 mics match. Only because of the story that was there, the wrestling ability that was there. These guys took it to like new heights and whatnot. It was very nice. I enjoyed it. Finn Balor never lets anyone down with his wrestling ability. Like, he has what it takes. You know that Matt Riddle has what it takes. There's nothing that I don't know. I don't know if there's anything that Matt Riddle can improve on. But overall, Matt Riddle is fun to watch in some instances. I'm not like a full 100% fan of like Matt Riddle, but I respect the guy and I'll be able to watch his matches. I do have some dream matches, but that would have to be talked about when we get to Survivor Series. As far as the Finn Balor versus Matt Riddle goes, I'm happy that Finn got the pin, only because if Balor did not get the pin, it would have not made sense at all, and it would not have set right. This was Balor's victory to let people know that, yeah, he's serious about coming back to NXT. He's serious about putting NXT back on the map and, becoming NXT champion probably once again down the line. Your thoughts on the match, Gio?
Happy for Prince Balor. It wouldn't have made sense if he would have lost to Matt Riddle at all.
Mm-hmm.
What's the back?
You're breaking up again.
I am walking
Okay.
as I'm talking.
Uh,
You might want to stay in one place and see what happens.
okay.
Okay, that's not working.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
It would have not made sense, Balor. So I enjoyed the match. I'm not like the hugest Riddle. I'm still
Mhm.
learning about him as
You might have to walk around again.
a background. He's an interesting dude. Interesting dude.
You mean?
Still,
Are you talking about Matt Riddle?
yes, Matt Riddle.
Okay.
He's just like chill.
He's a surfer dude. That's what he is.
That
He's a surfer dude. So think of Rob Van Dam. He's like that. Except
Ah.
that Rob Van Dam, it's probably better than Matt Riddle. I would like to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see how that goes. Matt Riddle versus RVD.
Oh, that's 5
That'd be 5 stars. 5 mics.
5 mics without counting the floor.
Yeah, right. Five mics. I would like to see that match. If you guys out there listening would like to see Matt Riddle versus RVD, let us know in the comments below. Because that'd be a very
But
interesting matchup.
It would be, but RVD is Impact.
I know, but no one cares about Impact. I don't care about Impact, so it'll be okay. It'll be okay. So on a scale of 1 to 5 mics, what do you give this one?
I'm giving 5.
Give it 5. All right, so 5 mics, guys. Still gonna stay there. All right, so our last match for that entire pay-per-view, which was 2 hours and 30 minutes, is the men's war game, where we had Undisputed Era versus Ciampa, Keith Lee, I'm gonna call him Dijak, and the special 4th member, Kevin Owens. Again, this one was phenomenal. All guys were great in this match. There wasn't anything wrong with it. Maybe, some of the guys sort of like rushed their spots or whatnot. Like you could tell for a good couple minutes there's going to be like a bunch of spot fests and stuff like that. I had to do a double take when Ciampa pushed Adam Cole, and Adam Cole went through like the first table that was set up on the outside. I was like, when the hell did that get there? Like that was a pretty good trick. Only because the cameraman did not like really pan to it to be like, oh look, there goes the table. Someone's gonna go through that. That was like a whoa, what, dude? How the hell did you go through the table? Like, what happened?
It happened quick.
Yeah, it did. That's why I had to like rewind and be like, how do we get here? Why are you through a table? Keith Lee is amazing. I understand his hype. He's a big guy who could do a normal stuff in the ring. Does that make sense? His athletic and agility is like unmatched. We don't see a lot of big guys like him doing that. In the past we still have Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is still considered a big guy, and the way that Samoa Joe does his stuff is still amazing. But for Keith Lee, it's like, yeah, okay, I understand. I understand what the hype is about with you. Will I be like a fan? Not really. I respect the dude. That one huge spot that ended the whole entire match of having Ciampa just drop with Adam Cole. Sometimes you wonder what these guys are thinking. And it's like, I understand you want to get the pop, but at least he didn't die.
Oh yeah.
So
very good.
So what are your thoughts on it?
The ending
Everything, dude. I
Yeah,
mean, the whole entire men's war game from like start to finish.
it was great. Just like the other. How do you for your other war?
You're breaking up again.
It gets better each first, even the mistake. But the ending to that, and I saw that, oh, that was my reaction.
Yeah. That got everybody like excited and stuff like that. And then to have the cameras panned to Britt Baker for like 3 seconds, maybe 4 seconds, and then go back to the action, and you hear Maru say, "Oh, that's Adam Cole's girlfriend." Um, Reports came out saying that Triple H, apologized to her and didn't really want her to get in trouble because she was seen at an NXT event and stuff like that. And I was just like, she probably doesn't care. AEW probably doesn't care. They're not gonna like reprimand her, because she's going in there first and foremost as a fan. She's sitting in front row, and they addressed her as Adam Cole's girlfriend, and not, the Dr. Britt Baker from AEW.
That would have been
Uh,
too.
Wait, say that all over again because it broke up.
Said that would have been the doc. The other, I can see why they. In a way, it's just his girlfriend, not a dent. His girl, who's all. I can see why Triple H wanted that out. Rumors can.
Definitely rumors can start. All because of like, stupid things that people want to start because people want to look for fights. So I am still gonna leave my five mics guy up because the whole entire pay-per-view from start to finish was all five mics, and I've never done that. I've never like cited and be like, this whole entire pay-per-view is very good and solid. Like it was a solid pay-per-view. Um, so Gia, what do you give this match?
No, we don't have. Just give it a
Give it a what?
5 stars.
Okay.
5.
So then, in general, for the whole entire pay-per-view of NXT War Games, what rating would you give it?
5.
5. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Uh, that completes our review of NXT War Games. NXT always delivers. NXT is like a really good brand. It still has a really good feel to it. You know, guys in the comments, if you are listening to this via YouTube and or Anchor. Anchor has a cool little feature that you guys can send us voice messages, and you guys can voice your opinion on how many mics you want to give it. The scale is 1 through 5, and just leave us a comment, let us know, and we'll talk about it on our next one. We are currently going to be going over to WWE Survivor Series, so bear with me here because I am going to not use the five mics guy for Survivor Series, only because Survivor Series was good. Survivor Series was solid, but not as solid as NXT War Games, which is kind of sad, But always this time of year, it always comes out to be NXT tops WWE. I mean, well, yeah, NXT tops like
Yes.
Raw and SmackDown when it comes to that.
Yes, usually good left, hoping that, man, this pit they can reach watch. Yeah, no, it's not there. I didn't really it's always take that.
You're breaking up.
What I say. Do I have to?
You might have to repeat some of it.
People are usually more excited take over, not
Oh, okay.
the sun.
So basically, for anyone tuning in and wondering why I have to tell Gio every time to move around and stuff like that, his Wi-Fi is currently down, so he's using his mobile data on his phone to use the Discord chat app that we're using in all of our podcasts. And he just mentioned something that everyone always says, that everyone looks forward to watching the NXT takeover rather than the WWE like Raw and SmackDown pay-per-views whenever they like go head to head. And I think that's what everybody, NXT turns out a better product rather than the very suffocating Raw and SmackDown at the moment. Now, obviously, you got to watch Survivor Series, right, Gio?
Yes, I did. Yes.
All right. So we're gonna go down the matches and stuff like that. Just talk about it as normal. The kickoff show had the Viking Raiders versus the New Day versus Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. It's Bobby Fish, right?
It's Bobby.
It's what?
Bobby.
Oh, it's just Bobby?
Bobby Fish.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to
Name.
make I wanted to make sure I was saying his name right, because I'm like, is it really Fish or am I saying it wrong? Or I don't want to get it wrong.
Oh no, it's really Fish. It's like
Okay. I just want to make sure I was saying it right. So, I did not really write down much notes. I just wrote down who the winner was, but the Viking Raiders are always impressive in the fact that they're also big men and they also can move and they also have athletic ability. And then the New Day, the New Days are, they've always been there. Xavier Woods is still out on his injury that we don't know how he got. He somehow tore his Achilles heel, so he's been out of action and he's not on WWE TV. So when he's not on WWE TV, he's doing up, up, down, down. In no way, shape, or form is that pay promotion. It's just what I know. Also, if you guys don't know, WWE started to do the New Day podcast, which is all about positivity. I have yet to listen to an episode. I'm not sure when I'm going to get around to that. But New Day does have their own podcast, as well as the other podcast called After the Bell with Corey Graves and stuff like that. WWE really needs to stop making more programming than they could keep up with. And then, obviously, Kyle O'Reilly and Fish are from Undisputed. And they are the tag team champions of NXT, and then New Day is obviously the champions of SmackDown, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they defeated Revival too.
Okay, and Viking Raiders are also champions, right?
Yes, they
Okay.
are the Raw tag team.
All right, so you had Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT, and all three of them were great. It was on the kickoff show. I'm not too fond of kickoff shows unless like it's done right. Probably Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish was hurting from just 24 hours after War Games. So, our winner of this match is the Viking Raiders. That's all I have to say for that. What do you have to say for it, Gio?
Surprised that they got a win. Vikings have been pretty dominant since joining Raw roster. They defeated on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have like pick of it. Probably to rewatch some.
Oh, right.
But,
Yeah, go ahead. You're right about that. I have to go back in my notes about like where the hell did we put the our predictions. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't think I picked for that, but good for Raw that they got that win.
Yeah. Really good for that. Even though, Raw should be the A show. Damn it, I don't even have it in my
Yeah.
I don't.
Did
Oh,
we
I
even
do
talk
have it.
about it?
We did. I have it. But we didn't know that that was gonna be the opening match. So,
No.
all right. So the next one we have the women's brand supremacy match, which is Team SmackDown. You have Sasha with Lacey Evans, Carmella, Dana Brooke, and Nikki Cross, and then you have for Raw Charlotte, Natty, Natalia. I couldn't really spell it at the time, so I just put Natty because everyone calls her Natty.
This is true.
Yeah, Sarah Logan, Kairi Sane, and Asuka, and then Team NXT was Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, Io Shirai, Candice, Bianca, and stuff like that. That match was incredible. There was a lot of going back and forth and stuff like that. All the women did very well in that match, and then we got down to the last two, which was Sasha Banks and Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
Sasha has a complete character change, like a complete character overhaul since coming back to WWE after her little hiatus, and I think it has served her well in the fact that now you can get behind her with like certain things and whatnot. People are able to have another good look at her, and she could have another good run depending on whatever it is. But in any reality setting, she's too small to defeat Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley like towers over her, has more muscle mass than her and stuff like that. So having Rhea Ripley win for the NXT brand was good. There should be more future matches between Rhea Ripley and Sasha just because. And then Rhea Ripley can go on to, fight other women on the Raw and SmackDown sides and stuff like that. So we could have dream matches and stuff like that. I don't understand why WWE has to keep it so stay on your brand. We can't do cross brand promotion, and we can't do this until like Survivor Series comes about. Like if they stop for a moment and learn from this invasion angle that they did, and then Survivor Series when it kicked off and they added NXT, and going forward they should continue to do that, only because not only it will give NXT more exposure to have people watch on Wednesdays, but we can eliminate any potential dream matches that can happen, and you're all within the same company. It's not like, NXT is its own thing. Technically, it is its own thing, but it's still under the umbrella of WWE. But the sense of you guys are all hired and you work for Vince McMahon, who signs your checks. Why can't we do cross promotion? Why can't we do cross brand stuff? Like, why does it always have to be Survivor Series? We have to wait for that.
I believe it's because the networks wanted, I believe Fox, and Split moved SmackDown. WWE had in.
You're breaking up again.
I don't think WWE had draft probably a long time.
Hello?
Yes, sorry about. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think WWE had of doing split until I think it's Fox. SmackDown to be separate, Raw. But I'm happy NXT is on USA, which I'm calling NXT a third.
A third what?
I don't see brand.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
like, I don't see it as development. Even though when they sign talent, they go to a good chunk. But I don't see it as the development.
As a
I see
developmental?
it as, I don't see it as that. Not when you're on US.
So going to USA just makes it, that much different.
Yes. So the tapings that they would have to do and watch.
I haven't sat down to watch like NXT on the USA Network to see if it feels to see if it feels any different, only because of, I'm so used to watching it on the network, and I was happy that it was on the network. Like they get to do what they've always wanted to do. They could always be edgy. They could always be as dark and gritty as it is. Like once you go to USA, you have to change a little bit. You have to go according to the guidelines, and you have to abide by their rules. You could have some leeway depending on it, and then there's other chances of getting fined, and if you have the money, obviously you'll pay it, because WWE has money like that. But I think, it hasn't hurt NXT yet, because if anyone is keeping up with the rating wars, right now it's sort of like not really neck to neck, but they're hanging in there, as they're hanging in there with their competition of AEW. So it probably wasn't a bad move to put it on the USA Network. I was just a little scared for them, because I don't want to see a good product like NXT get so commercialized, so TVized. I made that up. I don't want to see that. I really don't. I want to see NXT be NXT. This is why people gravitated towards NXT. And then when you go to your first ever NXT takeover, like I went, it was amazing. It really was. It felt like you were part of an underground type of thing, where you knew what was going on, you understood these wrestlers, and then when you watch Raw and SmackDown, you're like, why can the stories be as good as they are on NXT? Like, why do we have to deal with this? And that's because through the years, Raw and SmackDown are televised shows that have to follow policy. And I didn't want that for NXT, because that could have made or break NXT. Luckily, it has not broken NXT. It has only made them a little more hungrier. And you could tell in this whole NXT War Games and then NXT on Survivor Series. NXT was definitely booked like super, super strong for Survivor Series. Yeah, I did mention the winner for that match. But moving on, after Rhea Ripley versus Sasha Banks, that gave NXT a 2 lead. Raw is 1, SmackDown is 1. The next match is let's go back to our thing. So we both said, Gio and I both said that Team NXT was gonna win. So that's one for us. Yay. The next match was Shinsuke with Sammy coming out versus Roderick Strong and AJ Styles. Oh my god. This match was really solid. All three guys know each other. I don't know if Shinsuke ever fought Roderick, and I don't think they have. But if you guys think they have, please make sure to let us know in the comments and or leave a voice message via Anchor. I do know for a fact that Roderick Strong has faced AJ Styles. AJ Styles has faced Shinsuke Nakamura. That was his last match in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And then he comes over to WWE and has a WWE career. All three of these guys are super talented, super great. Roderick Strong with his knife edge chops and his, and his thing called the Messiah, the backbreaker and stuff like that are really, really, really good. Other than that, our winner for that match is Roderick Strong, which gives NXT a really huge boost in having 3 wins. Raw still has 1. SmackDown still has 1. What is your take on this triple threat match, Gio?
I enjoyed it. I just wanted to see how it was all gonna. But all 3.
Yeah. And just so that people know, for our predictions, we were both neutral, only because we know how great each of these guys are, and we've seen them in some capacity, whether it'll be live or, on TV or, via internet or something, or highlights. So we managed to keep it neutral. The next match is the Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole for the NXT Championship match. This I am going to put back up the picture of getting the 5 mics being dropped only because this was a 5-star match. Anything that involves like Pete Dunne, wrestling guys that understand how to go hold for hold, move for move, and stuff like that. This was it. And then this is only 24 hours after um, Adam Cole does the War Games. And give me a second. I gotta move my mic guy over so that way you guys can see it. So I thoroughly enjoyed the match. I was on the edge of my seat. I loved it from start to finish. Adam Cole is a trooper. Pete Dunne is definitely, he's always going to be like a future champion in like whatever he does. So Gio, what did you think of the match?
I enjoyed it.
On a scale
I
of,
walk away
oh, what?
thinking their champion done, but Adam fine and retain. Big night, especially because first time that championship's being on Survivor.
Yeah, definitely. That's true. Um, I don't know. Well, OBS just reconnected. Awesome. So that is right. Because NXT is there at a Survivor Series, which is a first time ever, the NXT Championship belt got defended at Survivor Series, so that makes it even more like historically great. And this is why I love this match and having these two guys fight and stuff like that. I did have a question. Do you think that in the future they should change the name of the NXT belt? So we always say it's the NXT Championship rather than the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. Do you think that they should change it to the NXT World Heavyweight Championship?
I never really gave it any thought. I'm so used to the champ. I would have to say if they were to change it and give it the NXT World Heavyweight, how would the announcer? Because that's a ton.
Well, I mean, any good announcer will work around it and like, say it and stuff like that. So, I don't see
I
the
mean,
announcer having a hard time.
probably not. It probably takes some get used to, but I would be okay if they add it because it is heavyweight champ because that's the top champion.
Yeah, definitely. So,
So
go ahead.
yeah, if they were to change it, would I like it? I would have. It wouldn't really bother me.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't either. It's just that we'll probably just have to get used to inserting some extra words in there.
Yeah, that's all. That's the only.
So wrestling fans, what do you think? Do you think that eventually down the line NXT should change the NXT Championship to the NXT World Heavyweight Championship? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and/or send us voice messages via Anchor. So after that match, it is the Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend championship match. What can I say? First, they need to get rid of the red light. They need to get rid of that.
Still.
They really need to get rid of that. What else can I say about this match? This match is kind of weird in the fact that, they still have not brought about a character to face the Fiend, so that way it can make sense. You have an entity versus an entity. This would not have fly back in the day if you just created Undertaker and you didn't create Kane, or you just created Undertaker and Mankind wasn't invented, even though Mankind was still a human, but he was a crazy dude, so it kind of worked. There's no one that could go ahead and like be match the Fiend and what he does. Having Daniel Bryan face him, I was just like, I didn't really go into this with huge expectations. I just went into this with, just watching the match, trying to not have the red light bother me so much. And then Daniel Bryan doing his moveset, and you think that there's a moment of him winning when obviously there isn't a moment of him winning. I don't know. It felt off. It felt like ever since they gave the Fiend the belt, and they gave the Fiend the belt the wrong way, it's just been downhill. He's still a good character. Like, you can try to redeem him and whatnot. I still love the fact that whenever he's on SmackDown, because he has the blue title, so whenever he's on SmackDown, he has the Firefly Funhouse, and he's able to be Bray Wyatt. And then when he wants to really like go to his other side, he's the Fiend. And I think that there's still time to save him. I just don't know how, and I don't know where to start. If you take him off TV, that's gonna hurt him. If you continue with the vignettes, that might be the only thing to save him. But I just think right now they totally like messed him up after giving him the title. When like we wanted him to get the title, but
We did.
he should have gotten it the right way, or they should have just pushed and pushed and pushed, right? And then when they finally created another character to go against this entity called the Fiend, then have that match. And then eventually somehow put a title in there. It doesn't have to be like the biggest title there is. It could be something small maybe. But the whole entire timeline of this was like so rushed. It damaged the Fiend. Daniel Bryan doesn't get damaged at all. Daniel Bryan is just a bystander of like circumstance, because they had to get a match out. They had to have a match, which they really didn't, because where does Daniel Bryan go from here? Obviously, if you guys saw Survivor Series, you know that Daniel Bryan didn't win. The Fiend won. So what does that do? What does that mean? When Undertaker was Undertaker, he took souls. And you knew that he took souls to the underworld, and he was the gatekeeper. So that means that every time that Undertaker fought, you felt some type of way. You were like, oh crap, this guy's not going to survive. His soul is going to get taken. So what does that translate to the Fiend? Every time the Fiend wins, what happens to these people? Like, maybe he should start doing little tiny dolls of like all the victims that he takes, and they're all characters on the Firefly Funhouse, just because they don't have anything substantial for us to gravitate towards Bray Wyatt again. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Cool.
Yes, you're saying since they championship crown jewel, it leaves big hole. Okay, who do we have?
You totally broke up. I do not know what you're saying.
Darn it!
Yeah, I know, man.
I said since Bray Wyatt, the Fiend has won the WWE Championship. It's who do you have to face the Fiend for that championship? No one. Really.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna randomly find. Well, the Fiend is gonna find someone Bray's path and attack Bray Wyatt. Fiend are two different individuals. Well, the Fiend is not a human. The Fiend is a thing.
Uh-huh.
And how do I know it's a thing? Michael Cole did it out.
That's funny how you just
the
say
damn
it.
thing got up. I know. Michael Cole pointed out. He was like the damn, and that was a light bulb. Yes, it is not human. It is a thing. Because every time someone attacks the Fiend rises up. And yes, everyone big on the red lights. But when I think of Old School King in his first early run with the mask, and you had that bit going. So it will take something supernatural to face the Fiend. Who do you throw to face the Fiend? Give him King. If he's not too busy, give him King, because the Fiend attacked Kane after he saved Seth Rollins. You
Uh-huh.
gotta fill in the gaps. Who better to take on the Fiend than Kane? Kane is demon, the devil's favorite demon. So why not throw up Kane and have a match? You know, maybe I don't know, a match. Let's see if the Thing can survive that. Survives. Hey, I'm just throwing out suggestions.
I
It
mean,
will work.
I
I
totally
think.
I totally like it. I'm just chuckling at the fact that we're gonna call him the Thing just because Michael Cole was like, I don't know what this thing is.
No,
It's
well,
just funny.
he
I get
his
it.
exact word. Yeah, like the damn thing got up. I was like, you're right. It's not human. It's a thing. Thank you, Michael. Because every time they don't know what they don't know. I don't know if it was Corey Graves that said it. It probably was Corey Graves. He said you don't. I think he said you experience the. So it's like an experience. What
Hmm.
kind of experience do you experience with the feet? And I know you're thinking, what the heck is the experience? I don't know. Ask Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
Ask
right?
Seth Rollins.
Yeah. But
Ask Jerry Lawler.
yeah, but we're supposed to feel the experience when these guys tell the story in the ring of how it is and like how it feels, through like their expressions on their face, the attacks that they do and stuff like that, the desperation because they're like, all right, this guy doesn't want to stay down. Like, what is he? Like, is he a monster? Is he an entity? Is he a thing? Is he the mythical legends of that we always tell our children the stuff that goes bump in the night, like we don't really know yet. um but those
It's
wrestlers are
odd.
supposed to like make us feel that, and if you can't make us feel that, then you kind of failed at your job in a way. And then
Do you
what?
have you seen Fiend's Eye?
Have I seen what?
Fiend's Eye. If you look, well, I know the red light. You're probably not big on it, but if glance at the eyes, what do you see?
Oh, I kind of see a monster, an entity in a way. Like it's definitely not human. I know that, but even with the red light, I could still like see his eyes and stuff. But he looks like a straight up like horror character, like that was made to like fucking mess with you psychologically. He's a psychological killer in a way. Um,
There we
that's
go.
that's
That
why he'll be great for Dead by Daylight. Which I had tweeted that out. Like we need the Fiend in Dead by Daylight. I will play it, even though I'm a noob and I know this podcast is all about wrestling, but I play games too. So I am a noob at Dead by Daylight. I would love the Fiend being at Dead by Daylight, and I had wanted to backtrack a little bit to say, hey Kane, if you ever listen to this podcast, your number one fan Gio wants to get back into the ring and teach the Fiend a lesson because you might be the only
yes,
savior of the you might be the only savior for WWE to save the Fiend.
yes. All it takes is the pyro. Since we have pyro again,
Yeah, we got Pyro.
give me that pyro. I can see Kane do his pyro thing. Yep, I'm sold. All right, just don't call it a ring of fire like you did the last
Oh yeah, dude.
why
I don't think they're gonna do that. I really don't think so. Um. So yeah,
Inferno match, please.
yeah, like an
My
Inferno
money.
match, not a Ring of Fire.
Yeah,
Definitely
Inferno.
not. So that's everything that I would have to cover for like Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan. You know, we're gonna move on to the next
I will
one.
say,
What?
but I will say that the Fiend did get booed.
I heard something. I didn't think twice about it. Like I don't know. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Oh,
still
okay.
here.
I thought you were gonna say something after I said that I heard something, but I didn't think twice about it. I think it was so
Oh
small
yeah,
that I didn't
I,
think twice about it.
probably, but they got the Fiend to be booed. The Fiend is not a hero. The Fiend is the Fiend is something that you should be afraid of
Yeah,
because
definitely.
he's like the Fire Funhouse. Sometimes I'm wondering, all right, when is the Fiend gonna transform and
Hmm.
just come out the TV and grab me? Not that I don't want that to happen, but if they do that, you've done a great job.
This
That's
is
free.
this is not the ring, okay? It's not the ring. In the
No, I'm
ring that
not talking
happens.
about the ring.
I'm just saying
Yeah, but
the movie The Ring that happens, man, where the girl comes out the TV and like grabs your ass. When WWE's not doing that.
I mean, they already created this horror looking creature from God knows what.
Yeah.
But
So
only Bray Wyatt.
so you don't have to worry that much, okay, dude? Like you'll be okay.
No, I'm
You'll be
just saying
okay.
it would be cool. It'd be cool if it comes out.
Yeah, then you're gonna be calling me and be like, holy shit, did you know what just happened? Anyway, so our pick for this, we both picked The Fiend because it makes total sense for that to happen. If Daniel Bryan won, like where would it have gone? I don't know. It probably would have been more matches, more weird story, more antagonizing by The Miz. So I don't know. Other than that, let's continue on to the next match, which is another brand match. You have Team Raw, which had Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Ricochet. Team SmackDown was Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns with Chad Gable. We're not calling him Shorty G.
I don't
Corbin.
even know who that is.
Yeah, Braun and Mustafa Ali. And then NXT had Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, Walter, which, yes, Jericho is right. Walter is a stupid name. Ciampa and Damian Priest. Yeah, Damian Priest was in the match. From start to finish, this match was heavy hitting. You have a lot of big names. You have a lot of big guys in there and stuff like that. The chemistry between Chad Gable and Matt Riddle was phenomenal. I want to see that. And I know earlier in this podcast, I had talked about like dream matches that I want to see Matt Riddle have. I want to see Matt Riddle have a dream match with Chad Gable. That would be great. It was amazing. And I am a huge fan of technical wrestling. I do like, my spots and I do like my high flying and I do like my stories and stuff like that. But sometimes when you have an old fashioned chain wrestling match, there's more story in that than just the spots that you see when you watch other matches. But I am a huge fan of technical wrestling and that was like super great. The other thing that I wanted to say that was very, very big for this match was that you had Matt Riddle eliminating Randy Orton.
I did not see that.
I did not see that coming either. That was great. It got a shock out of me, and that's what professional wrestling is supposed to do. It's supposed to have your feelings, become ignited, but don't turn into an idiot. You want these feelings to come about and be like, oh my God, that was amazing. We all know that like Matt Riddle doesn't have as many years as Randy Orton does under his belt when it comes to working with WWE. So to have a young guy come in, roll you up and get to 1, 2, 3 and have you eliminated, oh man, there goes my second dream match. I do want to see some type of story between Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. However it plays out, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't thought that far, like how it could play out. But just because Matt Riddle got the pin on Randy Orton, I was just excited to see how that storyline would go and how that would end up. Because Randy Orton has fought almost everybody, but the one place he hasn't conquered is NXT. So it would be kind of cool if he just invades NXT and fights Matt Riddle and fights the rest of the guys on NXT because I know he could still go. Randy Orton, doesn't have that many. Well, he doesn't have any huge injuries, so he really could still go if he wanted to. So in the future, someone book it, Vince book it, or Triple H book it. Matt Riddle versus Chad Gable, and then Matt Riddle versus Randy Orton. I will be the one to say that I do not care about Walter at all. I don't find the hype with Walter. I really don't. Walter is Walter. He's just there. I'm just like, okay, great, it's Walter. People are probably gonna like give me some heat for that, but I honestly can't see anything with this guy. Like sometimes when it comes to certain European wrestlers, it's just that they don't have character for me to get behind them. There's a bunch of other ones that I will get behind because I understand them. Walter is just there. He's just a guy that's there. That's for me.
He's
What?
a giant dude.
He is. He's a giant dude who's very stoic, who has no emotion or feeling and stuff like that. You know, he hits people, but like, what other wrestler doesn't hit people? You know, what, like, if you are a professional wrestler, you should be able to be different from all the rest of the other professional wrestlers. You know, like, you should be able to stand out. I should be like, oh my God, there goes Walter. Like, you haven't seen anyone like him because he does this, this, and this, and this. I can't tell you what he does. I can't tell you what he does other than slapping somebody, you know, being a European wrestler who does technical moves. But then again, I don't know if he should be able to do technical moves. It's just that all I know, if I were to be explaining someone to Walter, is that he hits people. And that's not much. That's really not much. It's not like if you tell me, explain Kevin Owens to you, and Kevin Owens is a badass. He's originally Kevin Steen, and he is a phenomenal wrestler. He made his name in Ring of Honor, and he does a lot of athletic moves for a guy his size. He could do a cannonball. He could get you in a package power driver. He can, have the whole crowd chanting, please don't die, when he does really crazy moves with his buddy Sami Zayn, who was also El Generico. If you tell me what happened? What happened?
He's not in Mexico?
No, he's not in Mexico. He's somewhere in Canada.
Oh, he's in Canada now. Okay.
Yeah, somewhere in Canada. If you tell me about Ricochet. Ricochet is the... Oh my God, I really hope I don't get heat for this. He is the flippy guy.
Flippy guy?
He is the flippy guy because both him and Will Ospreay have like a similar moveset, and whenever they get in the ring, they kind of do a lot of ballet moves. Like, if you really want to break this down, that's what it is. But Ricochet is the superhero flippy guy that can do extraordinary things, land on his head, which looks like he almost broke his neck and still lived to tell his tale. What happened?
I don't know how he survived that RKO.
I really don't.
Glad he survived.
I really don't. Even though they did the replay like 10 times, I'm just like, how the fuck are you walking?
Strong neck?
I guess, right? So, like, for anyone out there that's like wanting to be a wrestler, the greatest advice that I could probably give is what I heard. In order to get a really strong like neck muscles, you do what Zack Sabre Jr. does, and you do you stretch out your neck and whatnot. You do a lot of neck bridges. The more neck bridges that you do, the stronger the muscles in your neck become, and then you won't have as many like injuries as you would normally have when coming to like your neck and stuff. So he probably does that. That's what people do to stretch out. But you see how I'm able to tell you different types of wrestlers, they're different types of style, and break it down for casual fans who don't understand most of the stuff in the business. I can't do that with Walter. And that's just because of how he is, how he's marketed, how he wants his character to be portrayed. Like, I forget who's UK champ. Just because what happened?
He's the champ.
Yeah. But it's that idea of like, I wouldn't be able to explain to someone who Walter is. So in this match, those two were like the biggest thing that like I liked about the match. The Matt Riddle versus Chad Gable, and then Matt Riddle eliminated Randy Orton. And then what I didn't like was that Keith Lee had to put over... Oh, great. Hold on. What just happened? All right, we're going to take a break for a second okay, we're back on. What I didn't like was that Keith Lee had to put over Roman Reigns just so that way SmackDown can get the victory. And you saw the powerbomb. Keith Lee freaking killed Roman. How Roman kicked out of that?
I don't know.
So yeah, Keith Lee does his huge powerbomb that I've seen like twice, and your soul leaves your body. No one argue with that. Your soul leaves your body. So yeah, I just didn't like the fact that Roman Reigns had to go over just to get a win for SmackDown. I thought that was very stupid. But then again, if Keith Lee would have won, it would have been NXT 4 at the time, so automatically you knew that NXT was winning anyway at that point if Keith Lee would have got the win. But just how it happened, I didn't like that. It's just like, dude, you freaking died. Like your soul came out of your body. Like, stay down.
He took a, I believe they call power the spirit bomb.
Yeah, that's what people on Twitter I think are doing, but yeah.
No, I think that's what WWE, that's what it was
Seriously?
announced. Yes, the spirit bomb.
Oh God.
I am not making this. You can check later.
Oh my
But
God.
yes, they called it Dragon Ball Z Spirit Bomb.
Oh my God. All right, what do you have to say about this match?
Keith Lee stood out.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Keith Lee was win NXT, but I can honestly see why they did full NXT. You'll be like, well, we know NXT is winning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. That's
I
yeah.
guess so. SmackDown needed the win, maybe some, but I don't know. It was a good match. I think more Keith, but I enjoyed the match. I thought Corbin would be the one get the or something.
Oh my God, that dude, man. That dude. I didn't even talk
Corbin?
about Corbin, but like, Corbin. Corbin is doing a good job, as much as I hate to admit it. He's doing a good job being this stupid heel that they tell him to do. But he's doing a good job with it because he's getting fans upset and fans are just like, dude, get out of here, go somewhere else. He's doing his job. And that's what people
Yes.
have to remember when it comes to professional wrestling. These guys are doing their job. For this match, what?
Like, we're not supposed to.
Wait, I didn't hear you. We're not supposed to what?
We're not supposed to like the. That's like a weird thing. We cheer for the heel, boo the good guy.
Oh, I think it goes towards how they're booked and the situations, because like let's say that you have the heel and you're booking him to do like all heel stuff and he's getting the right reaction, but then the moment that like you bring in like a baby face or whatever, depending on the circumstances, it can change because people can change, and then all of a sudden you're like cheering the the bad guy when you're not really supposed to. But it's weird how it works in this business. It really is.
Now people have like now the people it's harder to cheer. It's harder to boo a heel. It's harder to boo the bad guy.
It's harder to boo the bad guy because everyone on Twitter wants to be like, "Oh my God, that's so wrong. I'm offended. You shouldn't be doing that." And it's like, it's a wrestler, dude. Like let the wrestler do what the wrestler gotta do. You know, you're there to enjoy it. Don't like take it personal because it has nothing to do with you. Nobody knows who you are personally, so don't take it personal. We had said that Team NXT was going to go over because we didn't know who the team was going to be. And then we find out that Team SmackDown won, so that's one. Take it from us. The next match is the Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar match. This match, man.
It lasted.
It did. It lasted long. We could start with that. Do you want to start off on this match?
Sure. Rey Mysterio cut the promo. How facing Brock changed him this time. Hopes to avenge his son because that's what it really boils down to.
Mm-hmm.
Let Pipe or Pipe Q. And then from the shadows, he hopes that his son is watching. And from the shadows, his son was doing more than just watching. He got involved. And I have to say, he did a nice frog. That low blow that he gave Brock, I think he did it better. And there was like a big small, big moment where I thought, but then I was kind of confused because I thought, is Dominic gonna
Hmm.
because he did the frog splash, and I thought, oh, well, his son's gonna be champ. And then they both, I really thought that was, but no, even with frog splashes and double 6-1, Brock powers out, and what happens to Rey? F5.
Yeah. Which was unfortunate. They gave us a moment of hope, that maybe Rey Mysterio captured the championship belt, with help from his son. That would have been like an interesting turn, if he had won it, because then, maybe we could have father versus son and stuff like that and see how well that goes over. Even though people will probably be screaming like, no, that shouldn't happen. That's so stupid. But it'll be kind of interesting to see, only because it's like Dominic could be like, oh, well, Dad, I kind of helped you win the championship belt when you fought Brock Lesnar, so I'm always going to be like underneath your shadow, and then he needs to step out. I would be up for it. I don't know if anyone else would be up for it.
Also, in a way, prove myself and carry on the legacy, given that.
Yeah, that's true.
So that
Um,
could, but not a lot of people.
not a lot of
We
people what?
would
Oh, we
would
we
enjoy
don't want
that.
it. Yeah, a lot of people won't,
We
but
will.
I don't care. I think that there'll be something special there if it's done right. So both Gio and I were neutral because we did not know what was going to happen and stuff like that. Um, and then after that, we get to the main event of the pay-per-view, which is Bayley versus Becky versus Shayna. This match, from start to finish, was good. The one mess up was that Becky didn't give Bayley enough room to basically do her move, so it got fucked up. And it's like, Becky, you should know better. Like, you should have took like a step or maybe a half a step, just so that way if you knew the spot, like, it would have been okay. Um, Other than that, it wasn't spectacular in a way. I don't know. I do just want to talk about the ending of like Shayna gets Shayna gets Bayley to tap out. So obviously Shayna wins, the whole Survivor Series. NXT is on top of the world. NXT is like just totally went over. NXT was booked strong. And then Becky decides to beat up Shayna and, poses on top of the thing and act like she won. Raw was defeated. Like, take your ball and go home. There was no reason for her to attack Shayna, not to like defend Shayna, because Shayna could like totally defend herself. But in the event of like Survivor Series, you lost, you didn't get pinned, go home, regroup, come back Monday night and issue a challenge and be like, Shayna, you can never beat me because you never pinned me. You never had me tap. You had to go after Bayley, who's second rate, in order to get that done. What does that say about you and your character and you being a champion of NXT? Becky could also mention how Triple H chose the wrong girl. Triple H, you know, doesn't have the man on, NXT side. So he had to go with you, and all you did was, go after second rate, which is SmackDown, try to get Raw to be back to number one, the A show. That's what, should have probably happened. But then again, I'm not there writing these stories because I basically am never going to get hired for that. Because, they want some experience being on a TV show or whatever. But the idea is that was stupid for her to beat up Shayna, to act like Raw won, and it's like, no, you need some type of reality check. Sooner or later, your gimmick being the man is just gonna run out, and it's not gonna be rememberable, and you're not gonna know what to do with yourself after this whole thing blows over. Totally not. Go ahead, Gio.
Okay. A handful. I was very disappointed. Darth tap as prediction out of the three, Becky, Bayley, and Shayna. I was going for the surprise. Bayley putting SmackDown on top, saying how she's not to be overlooked and no one can overlook her. Beat the man on Raw and Survivor Series and their champion. I Survive Shayna Baszler.
Mm-hmm.
I think the post-match attack between Shayna leads to a rivalry. Go after Becky.
So you're saying that that was the start of like their rivalry, because you kind of like broke up in between, so I was only getting bits and pieces of the words.
Oh, which part?
That
After.
you were saying that because Becky had attacked Shayna Baszler, that like you think that'll be a potential storyline, like they'll really jump with it.
Will they jump with it? I don't know. But I think it leaves the door open. I
Yeah.
say, don't do it now. You could do it next year. But first, Shayna has to lose her most prized possession. That being
the
so I
NXT
feel like,
championship.
mhm,
That being the
once
NXT
she,
Women's Championship.
yes, once she loses that, I believe she will go on to do more damage, a different show.
Mm.
What's left for her to do? NXT. And if she goes, I believe her buddy with her.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't see the other two horsewomen just staying in NXT and stuff like that. I think that wherever Shayna will go, they will go too. And that makes a powerful unit right there. I think that from now to WrestleMania, we should build this up because, the man always likes to talk a lot. And, this is the perfect opportunity to show what both women are made of because, we do need more spotlight on the women. We do need more stories for them, so that they could be like the best and stuff like that. Uh, maybe Shayna should eventually drop the title so that way if she is facing Becky, she could say, "Hey, I want to face you for the women's title of Raw." And see how that goes. So that should be a possibility. I think that they should continue with it now. But as far as I know, Becky was not on Raw, right?
To my knowledge, no, she was not on Raw.
So you see that logic, and I want like my listeners to understand this. Um, if you're gonna have your supposed top female performer, Becky Lynch, who calls herself the man, to beat up Shayna Baszler at the end of Survivor Series and not book her on Raw, that makes her look weak, and that beating meant nothing. You're supposed to have meaning behind almost everything that you do in professional wrestling. If you don't, you're doing it wrong, or just don't do it at all. Becky builds herself as, the man. I do this, I do that. I'm going here, I'm doing that. But where were you on Monday Night Raw? Seth Rollins was there, and Seth Rollins made himself look like a fool, like he always does. But it's just the booking. You're supposed to have strong, consistent booking. If you don't have strong, consistent booking, then maybe, you could did a vignette and be like, well, Team Raw lost. I might have to reevaluate who I want to work for because I decided to work for the best company in the world. Who's going to give me the best competition in the world? And right now, Raw got their ass handed to by NXT. So why not go down to NXT, stir some trouble and stuff like that, and continue to have your strong booking. If you decide to miss a show, your strong booking sort of means nothing because, you always talk about being the best. If you're going to be the best, you have to, be there. And if you're not there, then, how can you say you're the man? That's just the freaking logic that I don't get for WWE. Like they could have did a vignette or something, a reflection. They could have did it earlier that day because I don't think they had to go to a new city, or maybe I could be wrong. But
Yeah, they were in Chicago.
Okay, so.
But I heard that towards that post down, probably off booing her,
Are you talking about
or
Seth?
maybe no, I'm talking about Becky.
Oh,
So maybe they didn't want have her dealing with boos. They already don't like Seth. You don't want to make it worse if you have your Raw champ.
but that's like the nature of the game. That's the nature of the business. I mean, you're gonna get booed regardless because people are gonna have like opinions and stuff like that, and they're gonna like throw it right at you. If you can't be able to defend yourself and explain yourself to the fans of why, they shouldn't boo you, then again, you're not doing your job. WWE needs to stop protecting their wrestlers when this could have made bigger storylines. This could have made the man so that way people like me who don't get the hype, who don't want to be on the bandwagon, who don't understand, can try to feel some sympathy for her and be like, okay, now I get it. I get it. I respect her. I can go forward and be like, I understand why Becky is the man. If you don't have that, then, what's the point? You sort of lost a little bit of momentum. Even if she did get booed, she's going to have to learn how to be like The Rock and turn it into a phenomenon and become, the best thing that everyone ever talks about. You never want to like get your ball and go home because you don't want to face the crowd the next day. If that was the case, professional
Well,
wrestling would be nothing. What happened?
true. I'm not saying that she wanted the ball. The company. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Professional.
Um.
I'm pretty sure she wanted to be there, but you can only do so much when higher up says we don't need you.
I mean, that's true, but like Becky is their biggest freaking draw. So, it's like, why would you tell her to stay home?
Or
That
maybe she
that
was
type
there.
of thing. Maybe
Maybe
she
she
was in the
was
back.
there.
Yeah, probably in the
Yeah.
back. But
We should.
she probably
Yeah.
she probably should have had a segment or something, whether it was pre-taped or whatever, just a reflection on what happened, and then bam, there you go. You start going towards WrestleMania. You start getting that done, and that could have happened. But
Or they could have
I'm
done
not
it.
there.
I know.
I'm not there.
If you were there, I know you would have like your ideas. Or what they do sometimes they have these interviews in between or after
Yeah.
posted on the doc.
All right.
They talk about.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Talk about it. So maybe if they would have had her give like an interview about her actions, that could explain some program to explain why she did it instead of not having on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Because it hurts the women's division. Yeah, you got the tag team, but you're still trying to build that up.
Yeah.
And you don't really have anyone facing it back. It's like scrammer around. But hopefully it'll get explained next week.
Hopefully it does. And if it does, it should be from the heart and stuff like that. And it should be like not trying to find herself. She needs to go where the competition is gonna go. If she doesn't do that, then I have no idea. I'm not writing the segment. I don't know what they're gonna write it for. But you're totally right. Like even if she did a small little backstage interview, or on one of their like talk shows, like have her on there, just explain stuff. Because when you put over the fact that Raw is superior to everybody else, but yet then all you guys did was just get 1 point, that kind of affects what you mentally, especially when you're saying you're the man and you carry the company on your back, Even though you're a woman and you're fighting for the women's division to get more spotlight, you still fight for everyone else in the company. And because Raw lost, it was it takes a toll on people, especially because you're like, oh shit, we hyped up Raw lost, what are we gonna do now? The same way that on Monday Night Raw when Seth Rollins addressed everybody, like Seth needs to be off TV. I'm gonna say it every single time. Seth Rollins needs to be off TV for at least 6 months to a year, so that way everybody that's booing him can like stop, and then he can enjoy life, because he's been going so hard, over these years, that he hasn't slowed down to get a vacation. And he needs a vacation. He's getting stale. He's, acting like his Twitter self and just saying shit. And it's like, bro, you need to reevaluate yourself, probably maybe ask for your release and go train in the indies and get a new moveset, because it's kind of stupid to use your babyface comeback moves when everybody knows what you're going to do. Like, come on. Especially people who study you. Like, you can't do that. You have to one-up people. You have to make sure that you let the fans know that you're still fresh and viable to be, their hero, their champion. Even though he's not champion, but the idea of being their hero and their champion that they can get behind. I just love Randy Orton. Randy Orton with his little, jerk off motion, which he's totally right. Sometimes, you gotta follow the script, but half the time it's just like, bro, shut up already. Like, it's already done. You're beating a dead horse. And then for Seth Rollins to call out CM Punk, I don't know when we were ever gonna get to this on this podcast, but little backstory, I was once a huge fan of CM Punk. I was a blind follower of CM Punk, and then he decided to do the podcast on his best friend's show, like a tell-all thing on called Cabanistan. It went completely not the way that it should have went. They all went to court. They all filed stuff. Punk lost the court case. And now we're here. We're here.
No, he won the court case.
He won the court case? I thought he lost it.
No, he won. He won the court.
Everyone's going to give me heat for this, but I don't care. All right, so he won the court case, even though I think he probably should have lost. But he did owe Colt Cabana some money, but he never paid him, and then they went to court about that shit. And he's like, bro, stop, like, burning bridges. Like, this guy is super cool. You should know that. Anyway, what happened?
I've met Colt. Nice guy.
Yeah, he's super cool. Anyway, so now we're here. CM Punk has a Fox deal. He is not under WWE contract, so he's sitting pretty on a bunch of Fox money because he couldn't cut it in the UFC. So Fox brought him in to be this analyst, and then people turned on him. People are like, "You sold out," and it's like, yo, if you see the check that he gets, you'll sell out too. I'll sell out because I want that money. But
Fox?
It's Fox too, yeah. Even though Fox is like, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have Seth Rollins calling out CM Punk and saying that he's a coward for hiding behind his Los Angeles desk, right? Now, I don't know if he ever saw that tweet that basically Punk even stated that it's hard to catch up on 5+ years of professional wrestling.
I did see.
Yeah. But I'm just talking about that one line that he said that he hasn't. That basically shows you he hasn't watched wrestling at all. Like, he's not like in tune with it, and that tells me he has not been training. So how does Seth Rollins think that from November to April, when WrestleMania is in New Orleans, that he was gonna have a great match with CM Punk? If this guy has not trained in 5 years, probably more. Because he said he was burnt out and that he doesn't like professional wrestling and he walked away from us. Like, what makes him think he's going to have a good match?
I can't answer
any
of those.
We could speculate. Like, I don't understand that. When people have ring rust, you can see they have ring rust. And that's not where Punk needs to be. Punk does not need to be in a wrestling ring. He walked away from us. Then that is the one thing that you don't kind of reward, especially when you're an asshole walking away from us and you throw people under the bus and you want to be rewarded for being some type of savior. Nah, it's okay. You could stay at Fox and do analyst stuff, but Seth Rollins needs to be off TV so that he doesn't call out CM Punk to try to get CM Punk back in the ring, because it wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't necessarily draw. if you're buying a ticket to WrestleMania, you're probably buying a ticket to watch someone else. You're not buying a ticket to watch Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. What happened?
Feud. I said I wouldn't even know how that would start. To add fire to the feud.
Well,
.com, like Seth's tweet.
Oh,
Well,
well,
I don't think Punk is. He's not. He stated he is. No. I don't see him going in that square circle. He's been out of it.
I don't either. They brought him back, and they brought him back because the money was right. And if the money is right, you as a human being will take it. If anyone out there says no, you're lying. Stop lying. You'll take it. But yeah, that's what Seth Rollins needs to do. And I know, like, I rag on Seth Rollins, and the only reason why I do is because I know this guy could get better. But it doesn't seem he wants to get better. He seems like the corporate puppet that WWE needs, and the one that will always listen and not do the things that he wants to do, the way that he wants to tell his stories. And that's what I get upset about. It's like, I know you have talent, I know you have potential, but you haven't even capped it out yet, man. Like, you're still like Super Saiyan 1. You haven't even reached Super Saiyan God yet. God, man.
Wow.
And yet then he wants to call out people to like fight. No, he needs to be off TV. And that's as much as I'm saying on that. But if he gets off TV, comes back within maybe 6 months to a year as something different, with a different moveset, with a different feeling about him, then maybe he could get himself over. Because right now, it's like, yeah, you're not there. You're just, everyone is booing you. Everyone booed you for the wrong reasons, but you were the fall guy and you decided to be the fall guy. So that's half your fault for that. For that debacle at Hell in Cell. So yeah. All right, I want to move on because I'm gonna keep on this subject for like a long time. Just because I'm like, we could talk about this and how he can improve here and blah blah blah. But what I want to get to is the new drama that's on Twitter, and it's the whole Mauro versus Corey Graves type of thing. I do not care if when people hear this that they think that I am heartless. I am not heartless. I just see things in a very logical way. And I just don't think that the tweet that Corey Graves had tweeted out during the NXT Survivor Series, the NXT War Games, was not in direct route to Mauro at all. So what do you know about it, Gio?
I saw his tweet. That it relates to Mauro. We have Hall of Fame, and we have a former Ring of Honor wrestler / announcer.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like it a personal attack, and then I hear Mauro deletes it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is in a nutshell. So I'm not gonna bring up like any Twitter screenshots. It's all over the place. And today, Corey Graves, when he was doing the After the Bell podcast, he did apologize. It's an apology, guys. It's an apology because you guys forced it upon him to like apologize when he did nothing wrong, and that's not me totally being on his side, because I appreciate Mauro. I love that he's in the business. I love that he calls matches. It's just that, I know mental health is a huge problem, and I need to like choose my words carefully, because sometimes I could just say things and you guys might not understand like why I would choose it that way. But if you guys watch the Nigel McGuinness documentary, and there's a scene where Nigel McGuinness and Morrow is there, and they're talking and stuff like that, and you can hear it. You can hear that Morrow likes to be a perfectionist. He wants to make sure that things go according to plan, and that with the notes that they have, that they're going over, everything should be flawless. Everything should be coming together. So automatically, that tells you that he likes to be a perfectionist. And I'm not saying that his mental health issues is not well documented. I'm not taking that away from him, but scientifically, as a human being, everybody knows this. You tend to hype yourself up for certain things. Whether you're a teenager and you're in high school and your high school life depends on this one test and you get super nervous, right? So how does that inflict on you to get super nervous? It's because people told you that if you fail, you won't be going to the next grade. So you automatically hype yourself up subconsciously to become nervous. And then sometimes that equals failure because people put into your brain, if you do this consequence will happen. The same thing when, you become happy and you kind of overhype yourself. And then when the situation arises, you're like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. Or what are some other situations, Gio, where like you hype yourself up?
This is gonna be the best trip ever, and then doesn't become the best trip ever.
Yeah. So like, when you want to go on a trip with your friends or whatever, and then like, you're like, oh my God, we're going to do all these things in one day. And then all of a sudden, all you do is one thing and then that's it. You don't do anything else. So sometimes the human brain is so complicated and so complex that when you're a perfectionist, you kind of hype yourself up to tell yourself, do not fail, do not fail, do not fail. The moment that you think you're failing, the moment you think everything is a personal attack on you and nothing was personal in that tweet, he did not even mention him. It was just the second tweet was a simple criticism. The first tweet was letting everybody know out there in wrestling Twitter that Beth Phoenix is a WWE Hall of Famer and that Nigel McGuinness is a Ring of Honor legend. Sometimes the WWE fans do not do their research. They do not go watch other wrestling promotions, and they have said it before. They've been WWE fans through and through. Therefore, that's why he said it. There was no Morrow indication of like, Morrow, you suck. We all know Morrow doesn't suck. Morrow is the best announcer that WWE has, and I'm thankful for that. However, it cannot be one-sided. It cannot be a witch hunt. We have to stop doing that. We have to stop witch hunting stuff that makes no sense. We have to stop looking for fights on Twitter with these wrestlers and these athletes, because how are we going to grow? How are we going to change this business if all you guys do is, oh my God, that was so mean. That was so offensive. Oh my God, you got to stop tweeting. How about you stop tweeting? How about you get off of Twitter and like go do something positive in life? These guys don't need this. And I don't think that those tweets were the cause of Morrow taking down his Twitter, because you guys have to think about this long term. Corey and Morrow work in the same company. They have worked side by side before. So how does this 1.5 tweets make Morrow delete his Twitter when we know in the past Morrow has episodes? How does this one make it the straw that broke the camel's back for Morrow to delete his Twitter? And then you guys are like, Corey, you should apologize. Corey, that was wrong. Corey, you should have been a man and talked to him behind closed doors. Where in those tweets did he say that Morrow wasn't doing a good job? Yeah, Morrow does sort of like overshadow people and stuff like that. And if you have Beth Phoenix on the table, Beth is new to doing commentary, so she has to be comfortable with it. And you can tell when you hear her, she's not that comfortable with it. So if you have someone who loves this sport, has a huge passion, and kind of like takes the reins over, yeah, it's going to feel like it's overshadowing a WWE legend who's been a wrestler, who's in the ring, who has a lot more knowledge when it comes to the technical stuff. And then you have Nigel McGuinness being one of the best in the business, and sometimes he gets overshadowed too. So it's like, calm down. It's cool. I know you love the business. I know you love the match right now, but let the other two shine as well. It's supposed to be a team. It's not supposed to be a one-man army like Joey Styles. Joey Styles is the only person that, did it perfect. And then on the flip side, Morrow, for me, whenever I hear him do commentary, he does throw out so many pop culture references that I can't keep up. And sometimes that kind of distracts you from watching the match and feeling the emotions you're supposed to feel from the wrestlers. You know, he does a phenomenal job. I'm not saying that, you know, you should be picking sides or whatnot. I just think that wrestling Twitter looks for fights because they're bored in their lives and they have nothing better to do than to criticize and overly criticize certain people that they don't agree with. And it's like, guys, grow up a little bit. You know, this is wrestling. Social media is now created, so now feuds can be taken further and beyond on social media than it would have back in the day where there was no social media. And all you had to do was just watch the TV and then be glued to it. Are both sides wrong? No, both sides are not wrong. Corey is not wrong. Mauro is not wrong. Mauro just felt like he wanted to disconnect from social media. Let him disconnect from social media. Don't try to fight his battles. It's not your battle to fight. It's his battle to fight. The only thing you guys could probably do is be there for him and just be like, hey, Mauro, you cool? You good? You know, we want you back. You know, I want him back. So after all that, on Survivor Series, it was announced that via, you know, Michael Cole was telling us that Mauro blew out his voice. Now, everyone is like saying, oh my God, you know, that's not true, whatever, you know, that's bullshit. If you guys really paid attention to NXT War Games, Mauro was losing his voice. You could tell he was losing his voice, so he might have needed a day to rest. Now, today is NXT. They said that, reports said that Mauro did not come in. So, you know, we're not going to see Mauro on the announcer's desk. And, you know, maybe he needed a second day off to heal his throat. Don't jump the gun when you don't know the facts and you don't know what's behind closed doors. Just because Corey Graves says something on Twitter does not mean that everyone can go and like try to get his head for it. It's totally wrong. I think that this was stupid. It got blown way out of proportion. But again, you know, when people are bored, they blow things out of proportion. Like, they might blow this out of proportion without trying to understand my logic behind both people and the scientific reason for why sometimes people, what happens when people overhype themselves and then, you know, it just feels like you did a really bad job. No one said he did a really bad job. Sometimes he has to pull back the reins so that way Mauro could be like an all-around commentator and stuff like that. Sometimes you have to let the beauty in the match sometimes speak for itself. If you're constantly on it 2,000 miles per hour, it's gonna lose its specialness in the middle of all that. I just think as a wrestling community we should do better. But yeah.
Woo. Yes, we're not really kind on social media, especially Twitter. Very negative. It's always negative. Everybody's like, everybody, everything. Yeah, okay, we rant a little. Mm-hmm. Some are passionate. Some we nitpick how we think. Because we all have our opinions about this. But when it comes and tweets, they don't have expression. They don't have like sarcasm. If you're reading a tweet, you're not gonna. Someone's joking. You're gonna think, you son of a gun. You just offended. You don't know because you're reading words, and words that doesn't have any form of jokes or expression. It's made to speculate and guess. Why did this person say this or this? Then it becomes a whole war, and then you wind up trending probably all the wrong reasons, or you said something that you didn't necessarily mean to say without really not thinking about hurting the person's feeling. You're just saying whatever you want to say. And sometimes when we say whatever we want to say, Twitter, we don't think about it. We just tweet how we feel. And sometimes that could be a place of anger. Sometimes that could be a place of whatever you're feeling. And Matt Hardy has said it best. The good thing about social media, everyone has a voice. The bad thing about social media, everyone has a voice.
Just repeat the first line that you said, that Matt Hardy said, that the good thing about social media is what? Because it cut that
Oh,
off.
the good thing about social media, Matt Hardy says, everyone has a voice.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
And the bad
And
thing
yeah, that everyone has a voice.
about, yes. So it's like, yeah, we use our voice. We can use our voice for good, our voice for bad.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we cross hairs with different handler or Twitter lead to crazy nonsense. It could be like, oh, well, this, that, and the third. Like, I understand what you're saying, but have your views. My views. We all have our views. Really, all positive. Wrestling, we are not nice. We're just like attack on attack.
Yeah.
How are we supposed to grow as fans of the business that we love if we're always attacking each other?
Yeah, I
And how are we
totally
going
get
to
that.
show the wrestlings that we watch for it? And sometimes, yeah, we are critical on the wrestlers' product. How are we going to show them that we're not all like this? They all think, you wrestling fans,
Yeah, definitely.
we give this possession to some of these wrestlers, probably read our tweets and like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave this alone. You
Mhm.
guys are nuts. So I guess the message I'm trying to say, can we all support each other?
Yeah, I would definitely love it if we all try to support each other. I miss the days where, like, if you had a disagreement with somebody, it didn't mean the end of friendship. It didn't mean that you were an asshole because you decided that you didn't like my opinion on something and we can't be friends. Like, come on. We're all human. We should all be adults. We should all understand that, oh, well, my perspective is not going to be the same thing as yours, Gio, but we're still friends, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I know you don't like the red lights.
yeah, I
I
know,
kind of
but
think I think it kind of reminds me of Old School King. That's because I love Old School King. Please come back.
I'm gonna have to like look that up because I don't remember that he came out with the red lights in the beginning.
Like it's during like his entrance.
Oh, I might have to look that up. But see, like the lights that the Fiend have are so neon. That's what bothers me. If it wasn't like so neon and so like bright to where I have to squint a little just because my eyes are not used to it, then there's something wrong, But if it was like regular lighting, sure, go ahead, but not neon lighting. That's what I don't like about it. It's the neon lights.
So if they change the lighting, mystical fog red light, you'd be okay with.
It should be okay, but like don't make it too foggy because then I can't see what happens, and then that's gonna be a funny story to tell on the podcast. But
Sure, if they do that, we can
we can what?
laugh about it.
Oh
That,
yeah, we could.
they probably heard the podcast. He took the idea with the fall.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
So aside from all of that, I did want to talk about Jim Cornette very quickly, even though that's like a whole nother podcast by itself. But I just wanted to mention that, people get upset for the stupidest of reasons. I'm not gonna put Jim Cornette's face up here. I'm just gonna put the NWA's logo up here because I was trying to find a picture of Jim Cornette, and I'm like, this is all fucking scary. It's not really scary. It's mad awkward. I'm like, no, I don't want this guy staring at me, even though he's a cool dude. Now, yeah, I did say that he's a cool dude because back in the day when Ring of Honor was good and when I was in college, this was when I was in BMCC with you. I went to a Ring of Honor show. This is before like my whole entire me not being shy. Like that time I was super shy, dude. It was so bad. It was bad to the point where Ravage had to help me ask the questions because I met someone that like I truly enjoyed in the business. And you guys might, hate me, but I don't really care. So
I mean,
What?
Starstruck. It happened.
Yeah, I was starstruck, but I'm just saying the whole thing of fans hating me because people hate on Jim Cornette, but they don't understand the dude. And I'm gonna drop some knowledge for you guys to think about. So back to the story. I had asked him some questions about the wrestling business because I was doing a project in speech class, that had to involve wrestling because obviously I say it every time on this podcast that wrestling is my passion. So he gives me the answers. I give it in. I give my speech, and I get an A in the class. I got an A because of Jim Cornette and what he gave me. I don't know if he's gonna remember this, if he ever heard this, but if we ever meet, I'll probably tell him this anyway. So what you guys don't want to realize is that, yeah, Cornette says some shit that's very risque, and he says some shit that you're like, dude, come on, man, be better, right? But underneath all the yelling and underneath all the antagonizing and saying that this shouldn't be here, that shouldn't be here, I don't like comedic wrestlers, I don't like short guys like Marco Stunt and stuff like that. Sometimes you have to think about it beyond that. He knows that you guys can do better, and he's pushing you. He's pushing you in his own way because he grew up different. He grew up in a different environment. He grew up in a different era. He didn't grow up in the 90s. He didn't grow up in the 2000s. He didn't definitely grow up in now. He grew up really probably 60s. I don't know. I should have done some research. But he's a very old man. We're a very old way of thinking, a completely old way of thinking that hasn't changed. But, he pushes people the way that he knows how. And the reason that you guys don't want to understand that is because you guys feel like it's an attack. Yes, it essentially is an attack, but he wants you guys to get better. I'm over Jim Cornette versus Joey Ryan on Twitter. I'm so over that. But the reason why I wanted to bring up Jim Cornette is because I really thought that even though he made a stupid ass joke that did not involve racism in it, only because when we throw the word racism and racist around, it's losing its meaning. I don't know what it means anymore, and don't tell me to read a book. Don't tell me to go back to the history books because I already know. I know about it. And I may not have lived the experience, but, I understand by going to school. I went to school. But when we start saying A through Z is all racist stuff, what exactly is it when we try to bring up this conversation and try to knock it out? Everyone always says we shouldn't, think about the past. We should try to get over it. We should try to go beyond racism. But you guys keep pulling it back because if you hear a stupid ass joke that Jim Cornette said that didn't really have any malice to it, didn't have any deep root into it, he just rehashed an 80s joke in 2019, you guys want to jump on him for that and then call it racist. And my one question to everybody, including you, Gio, when did chicken become racist?
Oh my gosh. I believe chicken itself is usually stereotyped, mostly among African black, because a joke would be like, well, black folks, you guys love your chicken because, holidays is coming up, Thanksgiving, like that. So, yes, it's like the thing with chicken, watermelon, and whatnot. So,
I'm not meaning to put you on the spot, just so you know. It's just
I know.
Yeah, I just want to have a conversation about it.
I think it's mostly because commonly black people, maybe not all, we love the joke is we love our chicken. We like eating our chicken, fried chicken. Maybe some people like baked, but it comes around that. Especially probably from the southern,
Oh yeah,
down the south. because they like cook like collard greens and
Yeah.
chicken and things like that. So I believe it comes from that, and I think used in that way. You know, when you go to like restaurant, you order like chickens and pork fried rice. Yeah.
You're breaking up again.
Do I have to repeat any?
I did. What you said about the pork fried rice?
Oh, like mostly like if you go to like Chinese restaurants, some will order chicken wings and pork fried rice.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, yeah, it's mostly like kind of like that. So I'm just gonna probably touch on jokes that were used in the 80s, 60s, 70s. You try to do that in 2018, that will not fly. Everything how the world is. You can't say certain jokes because you're someone. And then it's like, if a comedian wants to say something and they want to use a joke, they can't because someone within that crowd might feel offended. But it's not like the comedian personally attack people in the crowd trying to say their joke. If you say the joke, you're offending someone. But this was okay back in the days, but because society has evolved and changed, now we have to be careful with how we say things.
Yeah.
It's the world is a very tricky, chaotic. You can't say certain jokes.
And it shouldn't be.
Someone.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be that tricky, and people shouldn't like try to put a stop to like fun stuff, even though like some jokes you're just like, oh my God, that's so stupid, don't say a joke again. You know, it would have been like that. Now I wanted to put it into perspective because even though you're like completely right that yeah, it kind of does stem from the whole fact of like, you know, I'm gonna use the word group. You know, these people ate it, but I love fried chicken. And I'm Puerto Rican Italian. You know, Puerto Ricans, Spanish people love their chicken. So, you know, does it make it racist for them to eat chicken if they're not of the, you know, part of the community? And also, you know, if you're from the South and if that's all you had access to, which was like chicken and watermelon and collard greens and all this kind of stuff that you guys made, like why should that be offensive? You should take pride in the food that you eat. You know, it's food for you to survive. If you don't want to survive, then don't eat, you know. That joke was taken out of context for what Jim Cornette said. I didn't hear it because when he said it, it was super, super, super fast. But someone had to write it down on Twitter so that people can read it. And it was really stupid. It was so stupid. It's like, Jim, stop telling jokes, man. I don't know if you could tell a good joke. Just stop telling jokes. That was stupid. But it did not really target anybody to make it seem like it was racist. It was just a stupid joke said at the wrong time, because I don't understand how that joke worked in the storytelling of Trevor Murdoch versus Nick Aldis. I don't understand how that worked. That's just like, dude, you should have either tried a different joke or not said anything at all, or I don't remember the guy's name that he used to do commentary with, or he could have said something to distract it from. But it's just to put into perspective that food, no matter where it comes from, and no matter who eats the most of it, it should not be a racist thing. It should just be a survival thing. People like their fried chicken. People like their tacos. You know, we get tacos from Mexico. That's not racist. We get food from food. What happened?
It's not, but that could be turned.
It could be turned into it, but then again, the meaning of racism has lost any type of value to actually use it. So that's why I don't understand. And then people like witch hunt overnight to the fact that they made NWA have Jim Cornette resign because the so-called fans were saying, I'm never going to watch it again. You just lost a viewer. Well, if you have to go out of your way to say you lost a viewer, I'm never watching this again, you were never a fan and you were never going to support NWA the way that NWA should be supported because no one else is backing NWA. NWA don't have big bucks like, the Khans backing AEW or Vince backing WWE or TNA, whoever TNA has now, or, the Sinclair broadcast having Ring of Honor. Like, I don't know who's backing NWA to have them back on here. Like, you can see how their production is. Like, no one is really backing them. So if you're gonna tweet out a million times that, like, if you guys don't do anything about the Jim Cornette situation, that you're never gonna watch, well, you were never a fan. And we don't need you. We really don't. And I'm not saying that like all of professional wrestling should be positive no matter what. You gotta have the bad to have the good. But if you're just gonna sit behind your keyboard and not get over something that wasn't even substantial, then you weren't a fan. You just want to complain. You just want to look for a fight. That's what wrestling Twitter does. They all want to look for a fight where like they don't need to. Focus on trying to have the product better. Focus on, trying to make the wrestling community more inviting. Try making, yourself a better version of yourself rather than going online antagonizing people for little tiny things, not even big things. But then again, in the world of political news, if there's no huge scandal happening, you gotta pick on the small things. I just didn't feel like that was the right call that NWA made, and they made a huge mistake, even if they had to listen to a bunch of fans who are not watching, because no one is tweeting about NWA right now. No one is saying that, NWA is great and stuff like that. I'm not seeing that on my timeline. Everyone that complained to get Jim Cornette off are not there. Where are they? Where are the people that complain about like the tiniest of things? They're nowhere to be found. So I just think that sometimes companies need to have a thicker skin and not let social media dictate wrong decisions. They were going to stand strong, but they really didn't do it because they were really afraid that they were going to lose all their viewers and everything. And it's like there's other ways for you to guys get the viewers back. There's other avenues where you could go and get like stream revenue and stuff like that. Just talk to a streamer. Talk to me. Be fine. I would love to work for the NWA. D-Live. What happened?
To go on D-Live.
They could go on D-Live. They could, but they don't know anything about that. I haven't even mentioned any other thing. But TNA is doing really well on. Well, I don't know if they're doing really well, but oh no, wait, are they on Twitch? You have the Mexican promotion on Twitch. I know that. So they're on there. And I think TNA has streamed on Twitch. Either way, the point of this conversation about Jim Cornette is that you guys take things way too out of hand. It was a stupid-ass joke. You should have just got over it. It was not that big of a deal because he only said it once. If he alluded to it again in the show, then it's a problem. But because he said it once, no big deal. Get over it. Focus on the match at hand, which was Trevor Murdoch versus Nick Aldis. But then again, you guys have to remember that people grew up in different eras. People don't think like you. You guys are forcing older generation to think like you guys, and that's kind of wrong. And that's why you guys are having the backlash, and you guys don't want to accept that reason why you're having the backlash. Everything takes time. Nothing happens overnight, and this was just a loss to NWA because I enjoyed his commentary and shit, but whatever. Hopefully we get to see him back. Luckily, you guys did not have him lose that much money because he still gets money from his merchandise. But the fact that you guys had a man, a human being, no matter what he did in the past, no matter what he said in the past, you had a human being lose his job, have him step down from his job. That is a form of bullying. Go ahead, Gio.
Pretty sure he... Oh. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
When you look at it that way, it probably is a form of bullying. That was like how he was getting his one of his ways of how he was getting his money was commentating on NWA, and he has ties to the original NWA. So it's like, do I need
I just want to step in for a second. Guys, if you didn't hear that, I totally agree with Gio. Jim Cornette does have ties to the original NWA. Go ahead.
the original? He made a comment. Was it the best comment could make? No, probably could have said something different, but Jim Cornette, you know, the guy says whatever he feels like, you know.
Yeah, that's totally right. So that's all I wanted to say about that. We're going to quickly wrap up with AEW closing out the podcast here, just because. Where? You know what? Let me just take out the photo. It'll be fine. All right, so for the last part of this is AEW Dynamite. This is the November 20th show where they were in Indianapolis. To open the show, it is Nick Jackson versus Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix had his singles match not too long ago. Nick Jackson hasn't had a singles match in about 4 years. This match was great. They read each other like it was a script that they read many times, and they all had beautiful moves, and obviously there was a lot of spots, but it's totally cool. Rey Fenix does the cutter on the floor to Nick Jackson, and then Nick does a Canadian Destroyer onto him, and then Rey Fenix pulls out that I guess that muscle buster that he turns around and hits it. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that was like his finisher. So I like the fact that we were able to see Rey Fenix fight on his own rather than always be in the tag team with Pentagon Jr. And the same thing with Nick. I know Nick did like a quick Q&A on Twitter, and I think he said that he may not think of challenging. He may not think of like ever having a singles run, obviously anytime soon, but I don't think he wants a singles run. Our winner is Rey Fenix. That was a 20-minute match, and then Fenix does not want to shake Nick's hand after Nick was like, "Oh, that was a good match." Your thoughts on the match?
Enjoyed it. Seeing him square off. My first time seeing Jackson wrestle in singles competition, because I used to tagging out with his brother Matt.
Yeah,
it was nice to see. Was it Pentagon that? Who did Nick wrestle?
What was the question?
Who did Nick wrestle?
He wrestled Rey Fenix because Pentagon was in the Battle Royale.
That's right. It was Rey. I think I've seen him wrestle his brother maybe once. I've seen a single match. This is not in the LW.
The what?
Those two square off.
Oh.
And Major League.
Oh, and in MLW.
Yeah, I think I've seen those two square off.
Yeah.
Once, but I enjoyed the match.
It really was nice. And then from there, we actually have a women's match on the main show, which is Britt Baker versus Shida. This one was actually good. It was a really nice battle. Just remember here, keep in mind, guys, the context that this is the November 20th show. This isn't today's show. So obviously after this, Britt went down to Florida and was at NXT to cheer on her boyfriend Adam Cole. So just keep that in mind. Shida did an old school move where she poked Britt Baker in the eyes, and then Shida won. I was surprised that Shida won. I thought that they were going to give the win to Britt Baker only because I think that they want to build Britt Baker up, just so that she could eventually face again for the women's title. But how did you think about this match?
I enjoyed it because we got to see some women action.
Mhm.
It's the second match. Surprised that Britt lost. I thought that she would win, but I
Yeah.
think now that she has a loss, it kind of puts her down on the women's ranking. I'm not exactly
I think it probably
what
does.
the I'm not exactly how strong the women's is,
Hmm.
but it might. I guess the more you get your wins and you have losses determined, you fight for that. Unless she gets another win, or
Yeah.
but I heard that the ranking the company will be restarted
Yeah.
next.
So yeah, in January, that's when all the rankings are going to be restarted. You guys should definitely follow Twitter. Well, you guys know, you guys do follow Twitter, and whenever they do the Q&A. So aside from that, we have the Dark Order promo. I do not want to join the Dark Order, and that's all I have to say about that. But I do want to thank AEW for doing these little vignettes, because I really didn't know who the Dark Order was, but I'm not joining. I'm okay. I got purpose.
That was that supposed to be something dark? It felt like it was like you need a vacation. Come to the
Dude, you know that's how all cults start, right? They try to hook you with, you need a vacation, but in reality you're joining, something darker and deeper and something
I mean,
beyond yourself.
yeah, but I wasn't expecting that to be like happy.
Happy? Huh. But that's how they get you. I mean, dude, if they showed
Yeah,
you something dreary and dark, you're not gonna join. You're gonna join if you see palm trees.
I mean, yeah, but I wasn't expecting to see like I don't know if that's the actual face of the dark.
Mm.
It's like, oh, I thought they were just, but we never seen this before with them.
No.
So it was nice to see where they're going with this, and maybe we'll see more of these wacky vacations.
Yeah.
So, but am I interested in joining the Dark Order? Not really. I'm interested in seeing what you guys do. How the whole, hey, you put this mask on, you'll be one of us.
No, I
But
don't want to be a creeper. I don't want to build a seat for you. I'm good. I don't want to do
yeah,
that.
but we already talked about,
Yeah, we did. So the
but
next what? Um,
I'm not for me.
what happened?
I'm past.
Uh,
I'm done.
okay. The next up is the Battle Royale. It's called the Diamond Dozen, where we had 12 people compete. So we had Hangman, Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Kip Sabian, um, Jimmy Havoc, Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt, Pentagon Jr., Sonny Kiss, Joey Janela, MJF, and Billy Gunn. They were fighting for a chance to get a $43,000 ring. Think of it like a football ring. I don't know why this is happening. I'm not interested in the ring. I'm more interested in the fight. It was a quick battle royale where people got eliminated. And then the last two, it came down to Hangman and MJF. That means that today, they were going to be fighting to see who gets the ring. Neither of these guys need to get a ring, but I'm just interested for the match. That is why I care, just for the match. Your thoughts?
I understand the concept of fighting. I did not know it cost that much.
Yeah.
Probably missed that info. But now that
You totally cut out. What?
I said, now that you told me it's a ring, when the football Super Bowl and not like a champ.
No, it's not like a championship ring. I mean, like, you could think of it like a championship ring because it's professional wrestling, but like to get the idea, it's like getting a football thing, because like every one of those guys are like big football fans. So like Cody wanted to do it. It's a Cody thing.
I get it.
Yeah.
Didn't he have like a
Yeah.
ring at one time? Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, that was a Ring of
So
Honor
yeah.
ring. So think of it like that too if you want to, guys.
I'll see how the match. I mean, I don't need to
Yeah,
feud,
definitely.
but that was different.
Yeah.
I'll look forward to the match. But as thoughts of Battle Royal, let me see the match and see how.
Wait, you didn't watch the Battle Royal?
No, I did,
Oh,
but
okay,
I'm
okay.
like the whole concept
Oh, I mean,
new. I wasn't
it got
expecting it.
yeah. I could tell you one thing that like it got rushed. Like it just got thrown together. It was like, yeah, we made this ring and we're gonna have a battle royal for it, and then that was it. It was just like, what? All right, fine, whatever, you know. And that's not me blindly going with whatever AEW does. It's just that I'm here for the matches because I believe in the matches, and they haven't let me down yet when it comes to a match. So whatever gimmick stuff they want to do, I don't care. I'll go with it. I just want to see the match because I could get dream matches hooked up in AEW faster than WWE. So that's why I complain about WWE, and I really don't complain about AEW. But that doesn't mean AEW is always not at fault. You know, there's like tiny little things that they do that are not going to be perfect. But am I going to be
Yeah.
upset that they have a 43,000 ring given to whoever wins between Hangman and MJF? No, I want to see how MJF works with Hangman Page in the ring because I don't think they fully, fought each other. That's why I am invested in AEW because of the match quality. All right.
That's exactly.
Oh, what?
Oh, that really it's just a match.
Yeah. I was gonna what?
Yeah.
So the next thing is that Jericho comes out with his announcement. He's gonna have a celebration. We need Kevin Owens there. We know we're not gonna get Kevin Owens, but I had tweeted that to him. I was like, we need Kevin Owens there. But he didn't say anything back to me. But yeah, Jericho announced that he's gonna have a celebration, meaning today, and then SCU comes out, and SCU is all like, just talking to him and stuff like that, and then that's when the match for tonight goes down for Scorpio Sky versus Chris Jericho, which it's pretty cool. People on Twitter are like, I don't get it. I don't understand why they're doing this. If we're gonna do the whole rankings thing, we have to stay true to the rankings where like Scorpio Sky got a pin over Chris Jericho. Of all people, Scorpio Sky gets the pin. Why shouldn't he get a title shot? Just to see if he can hang. Like, I'm excited for that.
And he
what?
He pinned the champion.
Yeah, he did.
Technically, if you pin the champion, you somehow get a opportunity, at least considered.
Yeah.
So he got his champ. Well, Jericho made the championship with that segment.
Yeah, definitely. So we go to our next match, which is Peter Avalon versus Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus wins. Peter Avalon is on his losing streak. That's all you need to know. The next tag match is Santana and Ortiz versus Private Party. This match was slow as hell. Slow. God, I was like, are we still wrestling? I'm so sorry. I usually never do that, but it's like, oh, come on, guys. You guys should have picked up the pace. They did that whole upside down exchange where like, they got the guy up in the air before they bring him down for a like a suplex and whatnot. Like that was like, come on, dude, you're gonna kill the guy. All his blood is rushing to his head. The other thing that I will criticize, because I know people want to hear some criticism, the referees need to stop doing that. Stop counting for 3. Even though Private Party won, they were supposed to win. The match could have ended, like 10 minutes ago, before getting to the actual finish. It still would have been okay, but they gotta stop doing that.
That whole false 3, really. You see,
yeah.
1, 2, 3. Why didn't the bell ring?
Yeah, especially in that angle and the way that it happened with this tag team match, it wasn't a good look. The other times you could hide it and it feels like a really good look, but for this tag team, it was just really, 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 really bad. But anyway, back Private Party wins for that one, and then Sammy comes out to like attack Nick, and then Dustin comes out and helps out Nick and Private Party. Dustin is mad cool. And then we switch to Kenny Omega doing a promo against Pac, and I'm like, all right, bro, that's cool. I like how he's going back to like the main source that kind of got him started to be on the wrong path, where he's not in the right mindset. So, I like that, but Pac is so angry and mean that I'm like, don't get hurt again, Kenny. Really? Don't get hurt. And then we go on to the main event of Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin. Darby Allin would not have survived in WWE. Darby Allin would have been just a footnote if he ever signed with WWE, because this guy is super creative. Who in the history of professional wrestling will come out with a freaking body bag that has Mox written on it, and then his entrance is that same body bag, and he gets out of it. He put up a good fight against Moxley, but in the end, it was way too much for Darby to handle. So Moxley is your winner. It was very clear that obviously there are two different sizes. Moxley is way more heavier than Darby Allin. Darby is like so light that he could be thrown around and do whatever. But it just shows you the heart and passion that they're willing to try to make things work, and try to get a crowd reaction to it. I think that there should be like a part 2. There should be more build up, just not too quickly. Just plant the seeds and let that happen. But that's the end of AEW. Gio, you want to add anything?
Darby's good. He's really good. A very different wrestler, especially when you're skating to the or you're in a body bag.
Yeah.
Bring yourself out of the body bag. In the body bag.
Yeah.
The Phenom used to
He used to come in with like a casket sometimes. That shit was scared the shit out of me.
Sometimes.
I honestly don't like caskets.
I'm not a fan of
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Here.
All right, because I thought you were going to... I was waiting for you to finish with, I'm not a fan of caskets either. All I heard was like, yeah I'm not a fan. I'm like, Gio?
Yeah, of caskets. I'm not a fan of caskets.
So that was everything that we ever talked about. This is like...
And then some.
Yeah, this is 2 hours and like 30 minutes of us talking. But this is what happens when you're passionate about something and then all you read on Twitter is just stupid shit. I'm just gonna say it, this isn't me trying to get heat. This isn't me trying to get people to listen to the podcast because, I call out wrestling Twitter in general. This is things that I feel that should be addressed, and 140 characters do not work to get it addressed. If you guys, don't like what I have to say, by all means, you could comment on our YouTube channel. You could comment, you could leave a voice message on Anchor, and I will definitely listen to it. And if it's worthy enough, it might come into the podcast. We are growing the same way that every other podcast is growing. We just have our opinions and stuff like that. I'm very active on Twitter and read a lot of things that are just like, you don't get it. This person doesn't get it. This person doesn't want to get it. And then, I was so happy that at one point, AEW was doing their Tuesday rounds of using the hashtag I'm with AEW. So all I saw was a wall of positivity of like why people are with AEW, and I totally get why they were with AEW, and I was in those discussions and stuff like that. But I highly thank you guys for listening for 2 hours and 30 minutes of me ranting about the business, about things that I don't like and how things can change. And I hope that you guys can join us in the next episode. Again, this is the Square Circle Podcast hosted by Marie Shadows, joined by Gio. Epic is still playing Dead by Daylight. He's going to know that I'm shouting him out because I would tell him because I think the fans miss Epic and stuff like that. But again, without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. So make sure to like, subscribe, share it, and everything like that, and just support us on all major podcasting channels. Gio, any last words?
We hope you enjoyed this podcast. We'll see you guys. Episode 9. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.